Hello everybody, one and all. In this video we're going to be talking about the things that I've decided to quit since turning 60. Now I'm actually 63 at the moment, so the actual things are pretty much ongoing, and some of them I've kept to, some I've not kept to too well, to be honest. But I'm going to list them in no particular order. I'm just going to list them things that I'm attempting to quit or have quit. Some with more success than others. So number one is work. Now when I say I've quit work, I haven't actually quit my job. I'm self-employed, so I work when it suits me basically. So I'll pick and choose the kind of jobs I do, and I'll do as little as I want or as much as I want, but it's entirely my decision, and that's where I want to keep it. So the first thing, if you are thinking of it, is to get your work-life balance sorted out. That's the main thing. Now I was working too much, and it was during COVID, which is when I did turn 60, that I decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. I was very quiet during COVID, as was everybody else, work-wise. And I thought, when it all lifted, all the restrictions, I could either go back to doing what I was doing, or I could strike a better work-life balance, which is what I've done, and I have kept to this. Now it's 3 years into it. I'm 63, as I say, and I've sort of stopped overworking, so I have much more leisure time. And one of the other things I've quit is neglecting my mental health, my mental and physical health. Now by that, when I was working too much, I didn't have time to do anything else, so I was just work, and not really having any time to myself. Though I did have weekends, or actually I worked weekends, so I had time off in the week, but I wasn't really doing much with that time. It was just basically, even if I wasn't working, I was taking bookings for jobs and answering emails and messages and WhatsApps and the whole lot really, and I wasn't really spending any time, any me time. So I decided I was going to start looking after my mental and physical well-being, which is what I did. And one of the main things I did was taking up swimming and also cycling, which I'm actually doing now as we make this video. I'm walking, but I'm pushing my bike along as we talk. But that was the one thing I prioritised, was to make that, set that time aside for cycling, swimming, walking, all the activities I actually like doing. And I have done. So I'm 3 years in now, and I'm keeping at it, and I enjoy it. So I go swimming twice a week. Sometimes, weather permitting, in the summer months I'll cycle to the swimming. So that's 2 of them. If the weather's not so good, I will drive there, I admit, and then have my swimming. But I go twice a week swimming, and I'm going to keep it that way. And also, on the same subject really, your mental health and your physical health, is your eating habits. So I've tried to improve what I eat, how much of it I eat. So I've cut down on the junk food, processed foods, and all the stuff really that's not particularly good for you. I still like to snack every now and then, as does everybody. You can't give up everything. But I've cut down on it, and I feel better for it. Lost a little bit of weight, though I'm not overweight for my age. I lost a little bit. I'm a non-smoker, or I'm an ex-smoker. And yeah, it's getting a balanced lifestyle really. Healthy eating and a healthy body is a healthy mind. And one of the other things I stopped doing was stressing. Now by that, I mean I didn't eliminate stress completely. I don't think any of us can do that, but I stopped worrying about some of the smaller things. Now a lot of people just worry about pretty much everything. What may happen, what's going to happen, or what has happened. None of them you can really change. What's gone is gone, and it's already happened. So there's no point in worrying about it, really. So I've tried to eliminate that and think less about it. And some of the things, and this includes reading too much news, especially negative news, what's going on in the world or even closer to home, and concentrate on the things that make me happy, like listening to music, going for a walk, which is what I'm doing now, cycling. All of these things I'm now starting to concentrate to reduce the stress, and it's also related to my work as well. When I had too much work, I was forever worrying about taking bookings and did I have enough time and did I need any extra help and so on and so forth. But once I stopped that when I was 60, I found that my mental well-being improved as well. My advice is to stop worrying about things that you can't change and concentrate on the things that you can. And one of the other things I decided to stop doing was overcommitting. Now by this I mean stop doing the things that make me unhappy and do the things that make me happy. So stop overcommitting to people. So if people will ring you up or message you and say, are you going out? Do you want to meet up? This is fine if that's what you want to do, but a lot of the time I don't really want to do it. And I haven't done for a long time. I like to do the things I do, and I am a bit of a loner in that regard. I like to cycle on my own. I don't do it as a group activity. Swimming is a bit of a, I suppose not so much a group activity, but it's a social activity. There's obviously more than one person there. But I stopped doing the things I don't want to do. So if people ring me up and say, do you want to go here, or do you fancy meeting up, or if I fancy it, then yes, I'll go along with it. But I'm certainly not going to do the things that I don't like anymore, just to please other people. Because being a people pleaser may be good for the people you're trying to please, but it's not necessarily good for you. So my advice is to stop doing the things that you don't like doing and concentrate on the things that you do. So stop trying to make people happy for the sake of it. Because really, you're not really making anybody happy, certainly not yourself. Just learn to say no. Now, one of the other things is comparing yourself to others. And by that I mean, what you need to do is to focus on you and what you want and where you want to be and where you want to get to. Now, when you get to our age at 60, you've lived a life. There's more years behind you than there's in front of you, that's for sure. Concentrate on the things that you want to do and focus on your achievements and where you want to go to. And one of those is making YouTube videos. I've often thought about doing it and decided against it for whatever reason. I didn't have enough time, I didn't know what I was doing, I don't know how to edit videos, all these sorts of things really. And then I noticed other people were doing them and I thought, you know what, why not? So it sort of fitted in with my lifestyle of reducing my workload. I did have extra time to myself, and then I started finding interests that suited me. And one of them was making videos, learning how to edit. I'm not skilled at it by any means. I'm a novice. But I started to do the things that benefited me and I enjoyed doing. And I used to look at sort of stuff that other people made on videos and thought, oh, I'm not as good as them, I can't do that, or whatever. But you don't have to be perfect. The main thing is just to get out and do it. And that's what I've started doing, and I enjoy it. And this is one of the ones I'm doing. Like I say, I've not been doing it for very long, but I'm getting better, hopefully. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And carrying on from that, doing the things that you want to do is also the negative self-talk. Now, by that I mean always talking yourself down and saying you can't do things, or you haven't got time, or what have I got to offer, and start concentrating on the positive. Now, I try to do this in my lifestyle, and like I was saying earlier on in one of the other points, things I've quit, is to stop reading negative news or listening to negative news on the telly. You can't change it, so it doesn't matter how much you look at it. I mean, it's obviously good to be aware of what's going on around you, world events and so on. And there are a lot of bad things going on, as we all know, with wars and famine and all sorts of stuff, along with division in sort of political arenas really all around the world. This seems to be going on, so I try not to concentrate too much of it. So instead of listening to the news when I'm out and about, I'll listen to music, and I'll get to my destination in a better frame of mind. So that's definitely one of the things I'll definitely try to sort of do more of. Have positive thoughts rather than negative, and I am having some success with it. Not as much as I'd like. It is an ongoing journey, but I think I am getting there. And one of the next points is letting go of grudges. Now, it is very easy to hold grudges. Many people do it. In fact, I have friends that are twin brothers, and they haven't spoken to each other for about 15 years. It may even be longer than that. And it was over something really petty, because they were twins, they were the same age, they had the same group of friends, but they fell out over something trivial and haven't spoken since. Which makes it very awkward, because when we used to have the same group of friends and went out together, they wouldn't talk to each other, yet they're all in the same group, and we were all in the same group. So things like that, as you get older, it doesn't matter, just let it go. Personal grudges they don't serve anyone really. Reach out and be the person to offer the olive branch, the hand of friendship. It can be family members, it can be friends. Let it go. You'll feel better. They will probably feel better. Even if you don't get the response you was hoping for, at least you've tried and you'll feel better. And at the end of the day, it's, as we were saying and touched on in an earlier point, it's what makes you feel good and give you pleasure and enjoyment. That was what it's all about. Not trying to be a people pleaser, because you'll never please all the people all of the time. Now, a lot of politicians and governments could learn a thing or two about that, trying to be all things to all men. It's never going to work. So just concentrate on what you think is right and what pleases you, by also being compassionate and helping other people as well. One of the other things I've quit is holding on to friendships that are not really friendships. They're just acquaintances. And this can be work related, or people you used to be in your social group that you don't really care for, you don't have much in common with, and you may not even like them very much. So what's the point of keeping them relationships going? You don't have to be rude and abrupt. You can just let them slide. Why keep them going if they're making you unhappy or you don't get anything from it? They probably don't get much from it either, really. But it often happened when I was younger. There'd be a group of us as friends. Most of us got on all right, but there'd be one or two you didn't get on with for whatever reason, and you just maintain the friendship for the sake of it. Well, as I get older, I don't need that in my life, so I'm not going to maintain the ones that bring negativity to my life, the ones that constantly criticise or talk down or try and ridicule you for doing certain things. As we touched on an earlier point, I don't actually care really what people think of me anymore, so I'm just going to do what I want to do. Really, getting rid of negative relationships is one of the main things. Now, as I say, this is ongoing. Some people there are still in my sort of social circle that I have to see, and that I work for myself, so I don't really have a working office environment as such where I have to deal with people every day. But sometimes some of the customers can be rude, but you know, I don't have to see them outside of what I do. Just be polite and professional, and that's it. But certainly negative or toxic relationships, they've gone. They're a thing of the past. Now, one of the last ones, and probably one of the most important to most people, is money. Now, we work to get money to buy things, I suppose, but how many things do you need? I certainly have downscaled. I don't need flash cars or, you know, big long cruises. Some people like this sort of thing, which is all well and good in your retirement years or semi-retirement. But I don't have any wish for them, really. I mean, I use a van for work purposes, but when I don't need the van, I'm out on my bike. So I don't have expensive tastes, so therefore I don't need to earn so much money. Now, it took me a long while to get my head around this. I just thought that was the whole point of being here, really, which is to earn as much and improve your lifestyle. But there are many ways of improving your lifestyle, and it's not all financial or material. A lot of it is just taking simple pleasure in the simple things in life, such as walking, cycling and swimming, which is what I'm doing now while I make this video. And I find it so much better. They all kind of join together. All of these points that I've said all sort of interact with each other. So you reduce your stress, you don't need so much money, so therefore you don't have as much stress. You don't have to work so hard, so your mental health and your physical health improves. All of them are connected and all of them have their benefits, and that is the reason why I've adopted them. And one of the next tips is looking after myself. Now, we did cover this earlier, putting me first above everybody else. Obviously you got your family, your children, if that's the case. You've got to look after them both financially and be supportive, but pretty much put you and yourself front and centre. You are number one, and look after yourself. Now, one of the next tips, really, which is probably related to the one we've just covered, is embracing the next years as you go into your 60s. There's going to be a lot of changes. Obviously there's going to be some physical and mental. You're not going to be as sharp. Your mind's not going to be as sharp, and your body's certainly not going to be as sharp as it was. You're not going to be able to do the things you used to be able to do. but you've got to concentrate on the things you can do within reason. So you just got to be prepared really for what's the next chapter in the book, which I have to say I'm quite enjoying and looking forward to the next years. If you keep yourself fit and healthy, then there's no reason why you can't enjoy your retirement, or semi-retirement in my case, for many years to come. So I think that probably covers 10 tips. There may be some others. If there are that I haven't thought of, maybe you could leave them in the comments section below and we could touch on them again in another subject. Hopefully this is going to be one of many of these type of talks that are quite interesting to me, and I think quite interesting to other people, or hopefully they are. Anyway, if you found it interesting, please like and subscribe and leave any comments below, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.